Outlander fans, the moment we've all been waiting for is finally here. Season 8 marks the grand finale of Jamie and Claire Fraser's unforgettable journey. After years of love, war, sacrifice, and time-traveling twists, the story that captured our hearts is drawing to a powerful and emotional close. But this is no ordinary ending. This is a reckoning, where fate, history, and love collide in ways no one could predict. As the past and future entwine more tightly than ever, the stakes rise higher than they've ever been. The Frasers are not just fighting for their lives, they're fighting for their legacy, for their family, and for the soul of a love that has defied centuries. Enemies emerge, loyalties are tested, and the line between what was and what could be grows ever thinner. Will the love that's endured revolution and reunion, birth and heartbreak, truly be strong enough to defy destiny one last time? Or will the price of their epic tale be more than even they can bear? Brace yourself for a season of passion, peril, and poignant goodbyes. Outlander's final chapter promises to be a stunning, tear-soaked celebration of everything this saga has meant. It's not just the end of a story, it's the beginning of a legend that will live on forever. For over a decade, Outlander has swept audiences across centuries, continents, and the unyielding power of a love that defies time itself. Now, as the highly anticipated final season unfolds, the Fraser legacy approaches its conclusion. The curtain prepares to fall on Jamie and Claire Fraser's extraordinary journey, a tale woven with passion, sacrifice, and the relentless pull of history. From the wind-swept cliffs of the Scottish Highlands to the blood-soaked battlefields of a fledgling America, their lives have become legend. But as the final chapter unfolds, the Frasers must confront the ultimate test, securing their family's future in a world where the past never truly releases its grip. In the twilight of an era, the echoes of old vendettas stir once more, resurrecting enemies, thought vanquished, unraveling fragile alliances, and casting ominous shadows. As the drums of war begin to thunder once again, the stakes are higher than ever. Through the storm, amid the chaos and uncertainty of a world on the brink, the unshakable heart of Outlander endures. The profound, soul-deep bond between Jamie and Claire Fraser, their love, seasoned by time and tested by fate, remains a defiant flame in an age determined to extinguish it. As secrets buried in blood and memory resurface, and the fragile threads of destiny begin to fray, every decision carries the weight not only of the present, but of generations yet to come. The final chapter forces the Frasers to confront the most harrowing question of all: what sacrifices must be made to ensure their story survives the tides of time? What legacy will endure when all else fades? Season 8 is a meditation on permanence in the face of impermanence, how love, pain, and memory echo long after battles are lost and won. It's a season that doesn't just close a story, it honors a legacy. The line between history and legend blurs as the Frasers grapple with mortality, betrayal, revolution, and the ever-present pull of time itself. For Jamie and Claire, the battle isn't just for survival. It's for meaning, for truth, for the soul of everything they've built. The season opens in the early 1800s at Fraser's Ridge, where a brief illusion of peace is shattered by the gathering storm of the War of 1812. When a wounded messenger arrives bearing devastating news Jamie's son, William, has been captured under suspicion of treason, the past and present collide in a race against time. Jamie must choose between duty and blood, between the life he's built and the one he left behind. Meanwhile, Brianna and Roger face a life-altering decision: remain in the 1800s and risk the wrath of the coming war, or return to the future to protect their children from a fate they can scarcely comprehend. Their journey becomes a mirror to Jamie, and Claire's a test of love, sacrifice, and the fragility of time. Claire, plagued by vivid visions of her own death, becomes obsessed with a mysterious Native American artifact, an ancient stone carving depicting a woman holding surgical tools. Believing it to be tied to the secrets of time travel, she begins a desperate search that may unlock the fate of the entire Fraser bloodline. Her research suggests the artifact marks a hidden portal, one that holds both salvation and doom. The return of Lionel Brown, long believed dead, adds fuel to the fire. Now commanding a British-backed militia, he sets his sights on vengeance, igniting a brutal war that threatens to consume Fraser's Ridge. Lord John Grey returns as well, torn between his allegiance to the crown and his unbreakable connection to Jamie and William. As truths about William's parentage emerge, so do rifts in trust, threatening even the bond between Jamie and Claire. Far in the future, Mandy Mackenzie, now an adult, uncovers Claire's hidden journals in a Scottish estate. What she reads changes everything. Drawn into a mystery she barely understands, Mandy begins to unravel the threads of her family's time-traveling legacy. Her quest mirrors Claire's, pulling her toward the past and a truth that could reshape her identity forever. Jamie's mission to rescue William becomes a brutal crucible that forces both men to face years of estrangement, grief, and hard truths. William, rejecting his British title, chooses to fight for the American cause, forging his own path into the Fraser legacy, but at great personal cost. Back at the Ridge, Claire's health worsens. Her visions intensify. She shares a final haunting revelation with Roger. The artifact she seeks is more than a portal. It is a gravestone, marking the final resting place of a time traveler who died to close a rift in time. Claire becomes convinced she is destined to do the same. Jamie, faced with the unthinkable, must decide whether to let history run its course or risk everything to rewrite it. As war explodes around them, Fraser's Ridge becomes a fortress, a sanctuary, and ultimately, a battlefield in a last stand against Lionel Brown's forces. The Frasers and their community fight not just for their lives, but for the soul of their story. In a parallel timeline, Mandy steps through the stones, guided by the spirit of her ancestors, and aided by a young Ian Murray. Their connection hints at new beginnings even as one chapter closes. This is not just an ending. It is a torch being passed, a legacy burning brighter than ever. As love is tested, time twists, and history demands its price, the story of Jamie and Claire Fraser hurtles toward its breathtaking conclusion. The season's climax arrives as Claire's vision comes to pass. She is mortally wounded, shielding Jamie in battle. He carries her to the cave where the artifact pulses with energy. Claire insists her death will seal the temporal rift, but Jamie refuses to let her go. Mandy appears, guided by Eon, and reveals that Claire's sacrifice is not an end, but a transference of power. In a haunting sequence, Claire's life force merges with the artifact, closing the rift but leaving her body behind, lifeless. Devastated, Jamie vows to uphold their legacy. William kills Lionel Brown, ending his reign of terror. Brianna and Roger choose to remain in the past, forging a new future from the ashes of war. Mandy returns to her time, carrying Claire's medical tools and a letter for future generations. The story closes in 2023, with an elderly Mandy unveiling a monument in Scotland to Claire's memory. As she places Claire's tools in a museum, a ghostly Jamie appears beside her, smiling. Their voices echo with wedding vows as the camera lingers on their legacy, a love that defied time itself. The graves at Fraser's Ridge are now blanketed in wildflowers. The artifacts faintly glow in the final shot. The Fraser legacy in Outlander Season 8 is not just a story, it is a living, breathing force that stretches across continents, generations, and centuries. It is the fire lit by Jamie and Claire Fraser, a love forged in the crucible of war, loss, and time itself. What began as an impossible union between a Highland warrior and a time-traveling healer has evolved into a sprawling testament to resilience, sacrifice, and the enduring power of love to shape history. Rooted in more than blood, the Fraser legacy grows through loyalty, chosen family, and the fierce devotion of those who stand by each other when the world falls apart. It is a lineage carved not just in names and dates, but in the quiet moments of bravery, in sacrifices made without fanfare, and in the unwavering belief that love can and must transcend time. At the heart of this legacy are Jamie and Claire's descendants, each carrying forward a part of their story. William Ransom, Jamie's illegitimate son, once a privileged British aristocrat, becomes a symbol of inner conflict and courage. His decision to cast off his title and fight for the American cause is a powerful echo of the Fraser Creed, that honor lies not in birthright, but in choosing what is right over what is easy. Brianna and Roger Mackenzie, Jamie and Claire's daughter and son-in-law, choose to remain in the dangerous past, rather than retreat to the comforts of the modern world, an act of fierce devotion to both history and family. Their children, Jemmy and Mandy, inherit more than a time-traveling gene, they inherit the Fraser fire. Mandy, now a young woman in the 1980s, discovers Claire's journals in a dusty Scottish estate. With them, she unlocks secrets that could change the course of her life and reawaken the dormant magic of time itself. Mandy's journey parallels Claire's, filled with wonder, fear, and courage. As she is drawn into the past, guided by the legacy of her ancestors and aided by young Ian Murray, whose unwavering loyalty proves that family isn't always bound by blood, but by bond. Sacrifice weaves through every chapter of the Fraser saga. In the final act of her life, Claire offers herself to protect her family's future. Her essence merges with the ancient artifacts she spent a lifetime studying, closing a temporal rift and cementing her role as both healer and guardian of time. Her death is not an end. It is a transcendence, a final act of devotion that echoes through every heartbeat of her descendants. Jamie, devastated yet resolute, embodies the Gaelic spirit of Tré Rashad, the unrelenting pursuit of what matters most. He becomes the keeper of Claire's memory and the steward of their shared legacy, standing strong even as the world shifts beneath his feet. Their choices ripple through history. The defense of Fraser's Ridge during the War of 1812 becomes a defining moment, an untold chapter of America's story. Claire's 20th-century medical knowledge, preserved in her journals and surgical tools, inspires future generations. Mandy, a historian shaped by time and love, carries that legacy forward, ensuring the Frasers' voices are never silenced. Culture and identity flourish in their wake. The Frasers preserve Scottish heritage in the New World, honoring the Jacobite spirit and Gaelic traditions through exile and upheaval. William's identity crisis, torn between British nobility and Highland blood, mirrors the broader struggle of belonging, reminding us that legacy is claimed not by name alone, but by conviction. Love and time are the twin pillars of the Fraser story. Their passion defies death itself, culminating in a supernatural reunion that blurs the lines between this world and the next. A mysterious stone carving of a woman with surgical tools stands eternal, a silent guardian over the legacy Jamie and Claire built together. A surgeon's tools, revealed to be Claire's, serve as both tombstone and talisman, a reminder that love, once kindled, can echo across ages. In 2023, an elderly Mandy unveils a monument in the Highlands, an eternal tribute to Claire Fraser, healer, warrior, and timeless soul. Jamie and Claire's graves, hidden in the serenity of Frasers Ridge, are more than resting places. They are sacred ground, nourished by the love that shaped nations and lives. Mandy's letter to her unborn children distills the very essence of the Fraser legacy. We are Frasers not just by name, but by the choices we make to love fiercely, to stand for truth, to believe that time is not a barrier but a bridge, and to carry our stories forward, no matter where they lead. The Fraser legacy is not a closed book. It is a living epic written in courage, bound by love, and carried in the hearts of those who choose to remember. It lives on in William's quiet strength, Mandy's relentless curiosity, Brianna's fierce resolve, and the enduring spirit of Jamie and Claire, two souls bound not just by time, but by eternity. As the final season closes, the legacy whispers that love, like time, is boundless. It bends, breaks, and rebuilds, but it never truly ends. The final moments of Outlander Season 8 unfold with a quiet, aching beauty, binding centuries of love, loss, and resilience into a single, enduring truth. As Jamie cradles Claire's lifeless body in the ancient Appalachian cave, the artifact's light fades, sealing the temporal rift, and with it, the door to the past. The ridge, scarred by war, but still standing, becomes a silent witness to the Frasers' final chapter. Jamie buries Claire beneath a grove of white pines, her grave marked not by stone, but by the surgical tools she carried across time. He lives out his days as the guardian of their legacy, tending to the land and the stories of those they loved. Years later, as an old man, Jamie lies down beneath the same trees, clutching her faded shawl, and closes his eyes one last time. The wind stirs the leaves, and for a heartbeat, Claire's laughter echoes a whisper of reunion beyond the veil. In the 1980s, Mandy Mackenzie publishes Claire's journals, revealing her grandmother's journey as a healer, a time traveler, and a woman who rewrote the margins of history. The book becomes a global sensation, but Mandy keeps one secret: the carved stone artifact, now dormant, hidden in a vault beneath the Scottish estate where her journey began. The series' final scene returns to Frasers Ridge in 1833. Brianna and Roger, their hair streaked with silver, gather their grandchildren around a fire. Jemmy strums a lute, singing a Gaelic ballad Jamie once taught him, while Mandy's children play near Claire's overgrown grave. The camera lingers on the carving now half buried in moss, its surface faintly shimmering. The final episode unfolds like a whispered benediction, weaving together threads of love, loss, and immortality. On Frasers Ridge, autumn leaves fall gently over Claire's grave, marked not by stone, but by her weathered surgical kit and a single white rose, Jamie's last pledge. Though his hair is silver and his frame bowed by years, Jamie sits beside her resting place, a journal open in his hands. He reads aloud Claire's final entry, her words echoing across the valley. To love is to etch your soul into the world. Time may steal us, but it cannot unbind us. As the sun dips below the horizon, Jamie's breathing slows. His hand brushes the rose and a soft smile graces his face. The wind carries the scent of lavender Claire's touch as his eyes close. The screen fades, and for a fleeting moment, they reappear young again, standing hand in hand as time surrenders to love. Hand in hand on the cliffs of Cray Dun, their laughter mingles with the roar of the sea. Decades later, in 1985, an elderly Mandy Mackenzie steps into a Scottish museum, her granddaughter beside her. They pause at a new exhibit, Claire Beauchamp Fraser, Healer Across Time. Displayed under glass are Claire's journals, her surgical tools, and the mysterious stone carving its glow long since dimmed. Mandy places a handwritten note atop the display, a letter Claire had penned for her the night before the final battle. It reads, "And there you have it. Outlander Season 8, the emotional conclusion to a journey that spanned centuries, continents, and countless hearts. The Fraser legacy may be reaching its final chapter on screen, but its spirit will live on in every fan, every memory, and every moment we've shared. Thank you so much for watching, for being a part of this incredible story, and for keeping the magic of Outlander alive.